This is the one you guys been waiting for, wedding ceremony B-roll. How do you capture good B-roll for wedding ceremonies, right? As far as B-roll, I usually, do a wide angle shot of the ceremony area. So do some wide angle shots. And sometimes you can even do an aerial shot, right? You can do that if the space allows it, right? So take a shot of the ceremony area. And if it's in a church, just do B-roll of the church, like outside, exterior shot of the church, and then some shots inside. And then, there you go. That's B-roll of the ceremony. And if you're outside, same thing, just wide angle shot, go close up. And some weddings, I go as far as, taking some detailed shots of like the decorations for the ceremony, like the flowers, how the chairs are arranged, the decorations on the chairs, details of decorations at a ceremony, okay? Details of the stuff that's there, okay? The flowers on the arch and stuff like that. Just get some detailed shots of the ceremony to use as your B-roll, because the bride and groom are not actually going to see that stuff, but they'll see it later. So usually there are decorations here in the aisle. So get some shots of those decorations. And on the arch right here, there's sometimes decorations like flowers and stuff. Be sure to sometimes get those. You might not use them, but just get them. There's no such thing as too much B-roll. So get all those B-roll shots. So wide angle, close up, and I usually use a gimbal for the B-roll shots. So yeah, so like a nice smooth B-roll of all this stuff. The chairs, sometimes you can do B-roll going this way, sometimes going that way, sometimes going that way. So just get some good B-roll shots of the ceremony, okay, of the decorations and stuff. And as far as the people, I usually do close-ups of the parents. Usually the parents of the bride and groom usually sit on this first row. So I zoom in and capture the facial reactions so I can use those in the highlight videos to kind of cut to, like when the bride and groom are like exchanging vows or putting a ring on each other. Most parents usually get emotional. Some of them even cry. Sometimes it's grandmothers, sometimes it's aunts, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's bridesmaids or groomsmen, some of them. So make sure when you see somebody crying, zoom up on that face and capture those tears, because they're going to make your video 100 times, 10 times more better. Okay, so remember to capture those faces that are emotional during the ceremony, because you're going to use that for your B-roll. You're going to use that for your highlight videos. Okay, guys? So remember, zoom in on those faces. And sometimes, even if they're not doing anything, they're just looking in, like the parents, at least have those shots of the parents watching their kids get married, guys. It's really a good thing to capture those, because that makes the wedding more emotional. And he who makes the audience cries makes more money. Okay, that's how I see it, at least. So that's how you capture wedding B-roll. Just zoom in on these people. Sometimes you can get some of these people if they're crying. Whoever back there is crying. Bridesmaids, if they're crying, zoom up on their faces. Groomsmen, if they get emotional. Sometimes it's the kids. The kids are standing there. So make sure you capture them. Okay, guys? So that's how I do the B-roll at weddings. Nothing too complicated, so I'm not gonna try and complicate it. That's just how you do it. Just get so just mostly what I do with the B-roll at weddings is you don't need, I mean, you can use an extra camera if you want to kind of capture the crowd. So B-roll of the crowd, the whole thing. Sometimes you gimbal around the reception area. Sorry. Sometimes you gimbal around the ceremony area and just get different shots of the ceremony and stuff like that, you know. But mostly like for these shots I'm talking about where you capture emotional moments, I usually use the cameras that are already close to these people. So just like I said, the bride's camera, sometimes you don't always have to be capturing the bride. You can turn it around and get some close-ups of her family members or the groom's family members, and then bring it back to the bride. And when you go on this side, do the same thing. Take a moment, 10-second rule, capture the bride, the mom and pop of the bride, maybe the sisters, and also zoom in on some of the bridesmaids and groomsmen, because you're gonna need some of those shots to cut to if you need some B-roll later. So that's how I get B-roll with these same cameras. You can get B-roll with these same cameras. You can use this camera to kind of like pan and like show the whole reception. Show the whole ceremony. Sometimes you can bring it in the corner, get that angle. Sometimes bring it there. Sometimes just like you can capture B-roll with the same cameras that you have here. Okay, you just don't have to just like, oh, let them be still there. Like you can use the same cameras to capture B-roll for your ceremony, guys. That's about it. Just yeah, so just use these cameras. And if you have a dedicated camera, you can go around and use that camera on the gimbal. But so yeah, so I use this sometimes. Sometimes I have a extra camera that I use on the gimbal that I go around filming like different angles and stuff like that for my highlight videos. Go around, blah 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 blah, while these cameras are just doing their job, focusing on the bride and the groom. And yeah, sometimes I just use these same cameras to capture close-ups of the family members. So that's how you capture B-roll at ceremonies, guys. Yeah, guys, so thank you for watching, and let's move on to the next module. Let's go.